Hi everyone, and welcome to this PowerPoint about catalytic converters. You can see an example of what is known as a three-way redox cat converter in the background there, and hopefully by the end of this presentation you'll know exactly what that means. So let's begin. So what are catalytic converters? They are devices that fit onto the exhaust systems of vehicles like cars, and they deal with the exhaust gases by passing them over a ceramic honeycomb with a catalyst on it. And what that does is it oxidizes or reduces certain gases to help make them safer. So there's three main types. We have two-way oxycats, three-ways, and diesel oxidation catalysts. So two-way converters are the older type and they just contain one catalyst. And what they're for is they oxidize carbon monoxide and hydrocarbons, such as alkanes, to form CO2, which still isn't great. It is a greenhouse gas, but it's much safer than carbon monoxide. Three-way converters are newer and they contain two catalysts. So as well as oxidizing carbon monoxide and hydrocarbons, they also oxidize particulate carbon, known as soot, and they also reduce NOx, which is nitrogen oxides like nitrogen monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, into just nitrogen, which is totally harmless. And then we have DOCs, which are typically found in diesel engine older vehicles. So like the other converters, they also oxidize carbon monoxide and hydrocarbons, but they also oxidize various particulate matter, so not just particulate carbon. So that's to form carbon dioxide and water. So the reason we need catalytic converters is because the combustion inside vehicle engines is incomplete. There is very limited airflow despite our best efforts, so that means we produce a lot of unwanted byproducts, and they can be quite harmful. So carbon monoxide, for example, is totally colorless, totally odorless, but it's really lethal because it binds to form carboxyhemoglobin in the blood, and that prevents transport and release of oxygen. So it suffocates you from the inside out. And then particulate carbon, so if you inhale that, it's going to line the inside of your lungs. So that can cause various things from irritation. It can help cause or really aggravate asthma. But a big one is it causes cancer. Particulate carbon is a carcinogen. So looking at how catalytic converters work, on the left, I've got the different oxidation reactions, and then on the right, I've got the reduction reactions. So the reduction reactions only occur in those three-way redox catalytic converters. So looking at the oxidation equations, we can see carbon monoxide and the second one there, CxH2x plus 2, is just how it deals with any alkanes, and then the letters will change because depending on the size of the alkane will affect how the equation is balanced. And so they're forming CO2 and water. The equation at the bottom there is for how it deals with particulate carbon. So again, we're forming carbon dioxide. And then reduction equations, you'll notice that the first one still produces a harmful gas, but that's fine because it can actually be reused to deal with carbon monoxide and nitrogen monoxide at the same time. So then the total products from that are just carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and water. So I've got at the bottom there that while these gases are greenhouse gases, they are a lot less harmful, or their greenhouse effect is a lot more reduced. Unfortunately, they do still have their own drawbacks. And so while their whole job is to improve the environmental impact, they can do the reverse. So the three-way catalytic converters that perform redox reactions and also deal with nitrogen oxides, you have to be running at a fast enough rate in the engine called the stoichiometric point. And because of that, you can actually end up releasing about 10% more carbon dioxide than if you were using a two-way. but obviously you get the benefit there of you're dealing with the nitrogen oxides. The metal that is plated onto the ceramic honeycomb structure has to be mined, and the mining of these heavy metals like platinum and palladium just really increases the pollution levels of the atmosphere and the water supplies in these mining towns. And as well, catalytic converters get really hot. So in situations where you've got very dry land, very dry air, it's quite common for catalytic converters to cause wildfires. And we can see down at the bottom there is an example of how a cat converter started a wildfire.